Over a 2-week period, we're running all of our operations division personnel through what we call Flashover survival training. And so a flashover is basically the simultaneous ignition of all the combustibles in a room. And so just to explain how that occurs is as a fire is growing, the combustibles in a room, say your furniture, carpet, curtains, all those things are starting to off-gas. And the gases that it's producing, such as carbon monoxide, is usually, it's visible in the form of smoke, but it's flammable. And so as that heat develops, you have to have a free burning fire and high heat and dense smoke. Those are the conditions that are right for a flashover. And when that right mixture of air, smoke, heat, all those things are present, everything can ignite at once, which is actually a deadly phenomenon for firefighters because our gear is only designed to protect us from heat, but not direct flame contact. There's nothing fireproof. And so we want to teach our firefighters how to avoid even becoming involved in a flashover event. What we're doing in the classroom, we're starting with a review of what flashover is, and then some of the best steps that we can take to avoid it, such as cooling the upper atmosphere. We cover the 4 factors leading up to a flashover, and that's a free burning fire, dense smoke, which smoke is actually fuel in this case, high heat, and then a rollover event, which is actually a precursor to flashover. And if you can recognize those signs and cool the upper atmosphere, we start eliminating one chain in the chain of events that leads up to a flashover, and hopefully we can avoid it before it happens. We have to do a walkthrough of the actual burn chamber, which is built of just a standard shipping container that's cut into a third and then elevated. And the point of elevating it is to allow most of the fire activity to be above the students' heads so they can observe this from a safe vantage point. But we'll do a walkthrough of the building just so they can be familiar with the structure. And then on the whiteboard, we just cover assignments. We're operating in 2 different groups for each session. And then we start the fire with the group inside and observe the growth of the fire all the way through multiple flashovers. What we're observing mainly in the chamber is the precursor, which is a rollover, where you'll see what we call fingers of fire that are actually coming out of the dense smoke. And the smoke starts to burn as the air mixture with the smoke and the heat is all current. So you'll see just little pockets of fire igniting as the air mixture is correct, and then it'll spread to where the entire environment is enveloped in fire. So we have 2 companies inside, about 8 people, and about 8 outside. We'll beat back flashover with some of the water that we're using. Just a small amount of water will kind of knock it back, and then we'll repeat the process. And we're controlling all of that through ventilation, through the door openings, and then also a vent on the roof. And then the outside groups are observing what we call reading smoke. You can observe some of the dangerous conditions even before you make entry into a building, and you're getting to see that benefit from observing the smoke outside. We've acquired just old fence pickets, and then we use OSB wood. There's 5 sheets of OSB that go into every burn. Basically a 55-gallon drum with about 10 or 15 fence pickets, and we'll ignite that and just let the fire grow and up the walls. We're just trying to bring the technology to Waco and put our firefighters through it. I know a number of the area fire academies in the Austin area, Fort Worth, some other areas around the state, Houston, they all have flashover containers, so we thought we would take the designs that they have, which are essentially what you see, just shipping containers, and modify it.